YouTube, my name is Mesa Sean, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Alright folks, I've got a double feature for you guys today. This one's going to be a weapon review and also a build guide. I originally was going to just review this one particular weapon, and then I kind of stumbled across this awesome build. So the weapon that we're going to be reviewing is going to be the curated roll on the Heretic rocket launcher that you get from Altars of Sorrow. Now I know that rocket launchers are definitely not the meta right now when it comes to PvE activities for the most part, but I will explain why I think 100% you should try to grind Altars of Sorrow to get this weapon. If you didn't know, Altars of Sorrow, it rotates on a 3-day basis, basically. So one day it's going to be the shotgun, the next day it's going to be the sniper, the next day it's going to be the rocket launcher, and then it will go back to the shotgun and rinse and repeat. And there is a curated version for each of these weapons. I got a couple of really good rolls on the shotgun. I did get the curated version of the sniper, but some better rolls on the sniper. But when it comes to the rocket launcher, you want the curated version, or at least you want the two main perks that this weapon can roll with. And then we're going to go over this awesome DAWNBLADE build that's going to allow us to do a lot of DPS, that's going to heal ourselves, and also allow us to never have to reload the rocket launcher. Oh, and I should throw in, you'll get non-stop grenades, you'll get non-stop melees, and you'll get non-stop rifts. So it's a win-win situation. Anyway, let's get into it, guys. If you enjoy this video, a like rating really does help the channel out, but if you really want to help me out, hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it. What's really interesting about this rocket launcher is that it rolls with Demolitionist. Now, kills with this weapon generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves. And the second perk, well, main trait, is going to be cluster bombs. Rockets spawn cluster bombs upon detonation. You've got black powder, you've got implosion rounds, which will give you near max velocity, and I like velocity when it comes to rocket launchers. Or you could go with a volatile launch, and you can go with quick launch. Volatile launch will reduce your velocity, but give you more blast radius, and it comes as a blast radius masterwork. Now, I will link and annotate on screen a full guide to Altars of Sorrow and how you essentially can stop the timer. And if you're dealing with teammates, or if you're out there by yourself, and you're not getting the job done and not killing the boss because time is an issue when you make it to the final boss, I will link and annotate that on screen. Apparently there's some sort of cheese. I actually don't know what it is. Let me know in the comment section. I think a number of you guys did. I think if you don't kill the final boss and then you just stand there, eventually the chest will spawn and you still get the drop. Because normally when you don't kill the boss, you have to go back to the previous wave and complete that, just kind of like Escalation Protocol. But supposedly you don't even have to do that. You just stand there, and if no one starts up, well, the previous round, you get the drop. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. The Heretic is a god tier rocket launcher if, well, rocket launchers were the meta right now. If this was back in the days of the sins of the past and curtain call, you remember the good old curtain call from the Vanguard? Well, this thing would have been amazing, and I think it is amazing, and it's a lot of fun to use actually right now. But the reason why I'm saying to get this thing is because, look, Bungie is notorious for changing up metas. When they see things being used too much, well, they change things up. Whether that means bringing rockets back up again, trying to give them another buff. And this thing does some pretty good damage. And what's interesting about it is when I was putting the build together, one of the channel members, Signia X Gaming, I'm going to link his channel in the description. I don't think he has any videos up just yet, but he wants to start making content. He became a channel member, and we were doing some nightmare hunts, and I had finally gotten the rocket launcher because he was telling me about his and how he's like, man, he's like, using this with sun bracers is amazing. So I put on sun bracers, and I was like, it's pretty cool, but it's very situational. And if you're not familiar with Sunbracers, that's the exotic gauntlets for the Warlock, where you get a melee kill, has to be a kill, and then you get just non-stop solar grenades for about like 4 or 5 seconds. And then you combine it with throwing a grenade, you don't have to reload the rocket launcher. And he did a whole calculation, and I have all the numbers in front of me, but basically it would do like 52,000 DPS, which, okay, it's not amazing, but still that's pretty good. But then I was like, I was looking through the vault, and I was like, wait a second. There's an exotic I have not looked at in a very long time that was from Destiny 1, and when we combine it with a Destiny 1 weapon, which you're seeing right now, good old Monte Carlo, well, we've got ourselves an amazing build. So let's get into the build. Before we go over all the different mods and how you want to set up your actual armor, we got to talk about the subclass. So the goal of this is to be empowered as much as possible, because that's going to give us a ton of fusion grenades, and we need to use fusion grenades for this build. So, well, one way to be empowered is with our melee. So we have Guiding Flame, so strike an enemy with this melee ability to inflict burn damage and empower yourself and nearby allies. And I believe that will last about 5 seconds when you strike an enemy. Now, since we are empowered all the time, well, we're going to get a buff to damage, that's good, but we also need Divine Protection. So when we consume one of our grenades, it's going to give us a blessing that heals allied targets and drops overshields on you and your allies that you could pick these things up. Also, it will activate Divine Protection while gliding to hover in midair. The super itself, the Well of Radiance, that's another way to empower ourselves. We want to be empowered as much as possible, but also heal ourselves. So thrust your Daybreak Sword into the ground. The sword will continuously project a powerful aura that heals and empowers you and nearby allies. Lastly, we've got the Benevolent Dawn, where healing or empowering allies is going to regenerate your grenade, melee, and rift energy. All three things we need as much as possible for this build. Now, we're not going to go with the healing rift, we're going to go with the empowering rift. Conjure a Well of Light that increases weapon damage for those inside it. Again, this will play into Benevolent Dawn. Healing and empowering allies regenerates your grenade, melee, and rift energy, and we're going with fusion grenade. The exotic armor piece we're using is Starfire Protocol, and God, I hate the way this thing looks. I wish it had an ornament. So, fusion grenades have an additional charge and recharge from empowered weapon damage. Fusion grenade kills grant rift energy. So as long as you're doing damage while you're empowered, either from your rift, from meleeing an enemy, or someone else's rift, or if you have your Well of Radiance down, you're going to be charging up those fusion grenades, and you know that every time you throw a fusion grenade, you don't have to reload your rocket launcher. And we're running double breach refractor mods from the seasonal artifact, grants grenade energy on final blows with shield piercing weapons, or whenever a member of your fire team shuts down a barrier. To do that glitch, or I don't even know if it's a glitch, but you equip one breach refractor mod when you have the item equipped, and then you swap it out, and then you just go into it, and it lets you equip the second one. Next up, we need some solar armor pieces, and for my helmet, I've got a solar helmet, and I've got rocket launcher ammo finder, and for the most part, running activities like Altars of Sorrow, I had heavy bricks everywhere. For your gauntlets, you can do whatever you want. I put rocket launcher ammo loader on there just for a goof, but for the most part, the goal of this build is to not have to reload your rocket launcher. On my boots, I have rocket launcher scavenger, which means when I pick up a brick, I get more rockets. On my chest piece, ideally, I'd want a Starfire Protocol that would have rocket launcher reserve, so I could carry more rockets. Now, on the class item, I'm running double enhanced bomber mods, so even faster grenade cooldown when using your class ability. So every time you throw down a rift, well, you're going to get a substantial amount of grenade energy, and remember, with Starfire Protocol, you get an additional charge, but then they also recharge from empowered weapon damage. You want as many rifts as possible, so you're empowered, you're shooting things, you're causing damage, you're getting grenade energy back. You can go with ashes to assets if you want, but I like enhanced bomber. If you have Monte Carlo, I would use it. It works great with this build because dealing damage with this weapon reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge that melee ability with each kill. Remember, we want to melee things to get empowered. Empowered is going to charge our grenades as long as we're doing damage with empowerment. Now we have Markov Chain. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. That's going to stack up to 5 times. Also, melee kills will grant ammo for Monte Carlo. And of course, I am running double primaries. Doesn't everyone love me for that? Look, guys, I love running double primaries. I love 450 round per minute auto rifles, and I love my beloved ringing nail. And I throw on, of course, shield piercing rounds, anti-barrier rounds. So that's gonna do it for the review and also the build. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Again, I would highly suggest trying to grind out and get the curated version of this rocket launcher. Who knows what Bungie's going to do to rocket launchers in the future, and I could totally see them making rocket launchers viable again. And this is pretty viable right now, but you know what it is? It's fun to use. Do you always have to use the best weapons in the game? Do you guys get bored running Izanagi's, Recluse, and Wendigo, or whatever god roll grenade launch you have? I know I certainly do, and I like to mix things up. Well, you know, Recluse is getting nerfed anyway, so trying to find a substitute for it. Maybe that's why I use my double primaries and use my ringing now so much. All right, I'm babbling because it's the end of the video. One last thing that I want to point out, guys. As I said in my Titan War Machine build, which will be annotated and linked on screen, I said, look, we all know that more than likely Oppressive Darkness from the Seasonal Artifact will be going away with Season of the Dawn. Who knows what it's going to be or what debuff we will have next season. It could be solar. It could be arc. If it is solar, well, this build is going to be amazing because you've got nonstop fusion grenades. If they ever choose to buff rocket launchers, that's going to be awesome, and we'll have to see. But for, like, if we get a solar debuff for next season, yeah, this build's going to be awesome, and I definitely plan on using it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and let me know if you use rocket launchers right now in the game, despite it not being the meta. All right, guys, leave me a hashtag made it to the end if you did make it to the end. If you'd like to become a channel member and further support this channel, click the link at the top of the description or click join on screen. If you're watching on a desktop, we've got an awesome Mesa Army community over on Discord. You get custom emojis when I live stream, and also we've got a clan if you need it. Just one of the bonuses. You're not paying for a clan. It's just we have a lot of people that needed to join a clan, and right now we're up to over 300 people. We've got 3 regiments of the Mesa Army clan. It's 3 different regiments, but one big clan and a second Discord for all the clan members. So yeah, lots of benefits, and I love the community that I've built up there. You guys absolutely rock, and love you all. All right, guys, drop a like at this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at MesaSean. Check out my stream, usually and always on YouTube, and that's it. I'm out of here like Vladimir.
It's the end. This is it. Go live.